Welcome to MinkLife Motivation Live. My name is Monica Henderson, and I am going to be your conductor today. And are you wondering why you don't get credit for some of the things you do? Well, today's show is all about that. Let's get started. Yay! Welcome. I'm so excited for today's show. I have an amazing guest who stayed up late to hang out with us today. That is Rebecca, and she is a flamingo among pigeons. And I'm sure she's going to tell us a little bit more about that. But I want to remind you, you are watching the show right now and you want to chime in. Guess what? Leave a comment in the chat. We're going to put your comment just like this on the bottom of the screen, and you can be a part of the conversation. That's right. Be the co-host on the couch with those thumbs. So let's get into it and let's meet Rebecca. So Rebecca, first of all, you're going to have to explain what is the flamingo among pigeons, but also why are you passionate about helping people with their business and their business planning using your zone of genius?
Yes. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of questions. So, I'm a flamingo among pigeons because I have always been an outlier. I am a minority back when I was living in my own homeland, Indonesia. No one would ever guess where I'm from. And I've been living here in England for 3 years, the first year without a visa. So I experienced living in the pandemic, high anxiety, and whenever people say, okay, just chill, get the government welfare, and just, just chill, Netflix and chill. And I was like, no, with whatever pennies I have, I'm going to build a business because I know that a lot of people, especially in the wake of pandemic, need a lot of success stories. And I want to be part of that success story because, it's like, again, another metaphor, phoenix rising of the ashes. So there you go. That's why I'm passionate, especially that. Also, women in the pandemic, we are forced out of the workforce because of caring responsibility, because of gender pay gap, and so on and so forth. And now they don't want to go back to work. What they want is to build businesses, and I'm here for them.
Yes. I'm here for it too. So this is going to be a great conversation. Rebecca and I are like new friends as of like 20 minutes ago. You guys are in on our first date. Oh yeah. So anyway, I personally am, you all know me, I'm super passionate about helping entrepreneurs kind of get over the humps and learn about themselves in the process of building these businesses. And particularly when it comes to the concept of planning your business and like structuring yourself and creating the processes and the products and all of those things. Those are things that I really geek out about, mostly because a lot of the times we don't give ourselves enough credit for how awesome we are and how like amazing we are and how much we know. And Peggy will tell you, who's sitting right over there, Peggy will tell you all the time that, she'll be like, no, I mean, everybody can do that, but not everybody can do what you do. And I love bringing that to the forefront. I love helping people tap into their own zone of genius and tapping into and like activating that genius and having them share that with the world, because I think that's the way we're going to change the world, right? If everyone is doing something that they absolutely love, we can eradicate traffic and road rage and like spousal abuse and like abusing children and stuff. If everyone gets to do what they really love with their time and energy, I just feel like we can change the world. Am I wrong?
Oh my God. Like, I think the state of the world's mental health will just absolutely that. And if only the weather stayed nice.
Faux show. As a native Californian,
you live in California.
Yes.
I'm a tropical girl living in the United Kingdom.
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do
So
it.
I go around town with my backpack. Inside, there's layers and layers of change of clothes,
Uh-huh.
a top to bottom poncho. I don't even bother with umbrella anymore because the wind. So
Yeah,
yeah, there you are.
I
No
get it.
wonder people drink over here.
I get it. We were there last July and I wore a sweater every day and they were taking their clothes off. And I was like, what is wrong with you people? Like, it hasn't hit over, like, it's not over 70. It don't count. Like,
No,
so.
no, no. And as soon as there's a heat wave, and believe me, the heat wave here is dead serious. People go half naked in public parks, not even the beach, park, like in front of your
What?
kindergarten.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's much
Well,
needed.
it's my job to keep us on the rails. Obviously, I'm not doing a great job right now, but I do have a question because we're going to help people get motivated with today's hot topic about business planning and giving credit where credit is due. And so, the question I have for you is, why
Mhm.
is giving credit where credit is due important for professionals to thrive in life and business?
Oh gosh, I think for one, whatever that we do, either business to business or business to consumer, whatever you do in your business, in a professional life, as an employee, employer, we're still we're in partnership with humans. And as we know, the top things that human needs is appreciation,
Yes.
even more than money, right? So as simple as, when you're a kid, you're asked to say please and thank you. That is actually the basic of giving credit what credit is due. And then all the long way when technology is now taking over humans job. Well, at the beginning it took over animals jobs. We don't ride horses anymore, we ride cars. And now the more AI is taking over a lot of jobs, the more I think we have to appreciate when there's an actual human being that is helping us,
Yeah.
right? Like already we don't have to say, we don't have to put a credit like this paragraph is written by ChatGPT, you know?
Right.
But therefore you have to even more appreciative when there's someone that is actually giving you something worth quoting, giving you a photo that is worth publishing,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. So I think credit plus intellectual property has to be taken a lot more seriously these days.
Yes. I usually say that I am an expert in organic intelligence, right? Because there's so much artificial intelligence out here. And one of the things that we do, especially in the MinkLife community, is encourage people to share their original thoughts and concepts to the world because their perspective will speak to at least 1 out of 10 people in the world, right? And so like your freak flag is what I always call it. I'm like, let your freak flag fly, because in that way the other freaks who are just like you, who speak the weird language that you speak, will know this is where I can go to learn. And it's what you're so right when it comes to this concept of giving credit where credit is due. Is as more people are leaning into this artificial intelligence being the way that they're communicating, the less of them gets to shine through. And
Mm.
so where I am always a little cringy about this particular Black Mirror episode we're all living in right now is that people are going to start get so reliant on using the AI that they're going to forget how to actually use their own voice, right?
Yeah.
And their voice is so important. Like the particular way that you say something is so much more interesting and unique than relying on AI to do it. You just use the AI to kind of support you, right? And so I love when you're talking about like making sure that you are giving credit where credit is due for quotes, and where you're giving credit where credit
Yeah.
is due for great pictures. I know Peggy's over here like, woo,
Mhm.
woo, woo, as a photographer. Yes, give me credit for my picture.
Yes.
But I also think the reason why it's so important is because our value is how we can give, right? And when we take away ways that people can give and contribute, and we give it to someone else, then they feel less value. And so I really want more people to understand that your thoughts, your words, your eye, your perspective is so incredibly valuable and necessary. And as much as AI is beautiful tool to help us get over the hump of some of the things that we have to do, ultimately your voice and your what you think and how you see the world matters, and we want to hear it. So give credit where credit is due, let them know that they're amazing and awesome, but also don't forget to like continue to say, hey, that was me, I'm the organic intelligence that came up with that amazing
Exactly.
thought.
And can I tell you, even as simple as, so I own a brand and content agency, and my client got praised by their audience for their new tagline. And I was not in the room. She didn't even have to credit me. She paid me already.
Mm-hmm.
But she credited me, and the following week she told me about it, and I felt like, oh my god, I'm worth way more however much she's paying me.
Yeah.
Plus it makes me want to even serve more,
Yeah.
serve her more above and beyond the job description.
Yeah.
So how it didn't um, it didn't cost her a penny to give me credit,
No.
right? And that
But
is
it
why I
meant so
love,
much.
exactly. But it means so much, and
Yeah.
she knows it means so much to me that she was telling me about it, and I'm like, oh my god, you're such
Yeah.
a dream client. You didn't even have to do it,
Yeah.
you know. Just like, we paid for the picture, we put it up. But here's another thing. Here's another perspective that I would like to offer you, business owners, when giving credit. You're actually name dropping. This is the perspective. If people don't want to give other people credit because they want all the glory for themselves, think about how much, when you are using branded items, you want people to know that it's Chanel, that it's the
Mm-hmm.
latest iPhone, that it's
Yep.
your Starbucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're giving credit that, oh, this is actually my assistant did it for me, or this is actually my neighbor did it for me,
Yeah.
you're actually name dropping, you're flexing the fact that you're
Yes.
surrounded by brilliant people,
Yes.
right? That,
Goosebump moment. Goosebump moment.
oh,
Yes, that's
right?
exactly it. You
It's,
are name dropping. See, and this
yes,
has been a thing that I have been wanting to communicate for so long, because we're so quick to name drop, like, oh yeah, I work with this celebrity, or I ate at this celebrity chef's
yeah,
restaurant, or I got this designer this. And people are like, ooh, but like, what if you did that with your own friends? You're like, oh no, this is like, my headshots are like a headshot by Peggy exclusive. Like, they're fire, like the best in the world. And you gave that
exactly,
same energy behind boosting
absolutely,
people who are around you. Like,
yes.
how many of them would, one, appreciate it so much for being kind of put in that light, but also two, how many of them would feel on the same level as, I don't even know another famous photographer. She's the most famous photographer I know. But like,
Annie Leibovitz.
but I'm saying like, oh, it's like, no, like, I got the best.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if you want to be so selfish, this is why I like changing the perspective. Even if you want to be, can I swear in this?
Yes.
Even
I,
if you want to be a dick,
That's not that bad.
Okay. Even if you want to be a dick about it, you can name drop, showing that you have so much money and power that you
That you can
actually
pay
hire
people.
someone to
Yes.
do it for you.
Yep.
That is the ultimate flex. Even if you're being a dick, you're actually giving credit where credit is due. The same
Facts.
way I often say to male business owners, hire women, hire women. Even if you're trying to be a dick by, oh, let's hire women because we only have to pay them less.
Hmm.
It's a dick move.
Hmm.
But if that dick move get women actually back into the workforce, I'm all for it.
Right. And here's what it is. Because once they're in the door, they can
Yes.
always negotiate their way to a
Yes.
different perspective. And I will say, we are like totally off the rails here, but that's okay. We're having a good conversation. We're just going to let it ride. So one of the reason why I had a custom clothing company, right, was because I took a job that I was underpaid for, right?
Mm.
Got in there, worked that junk like it was my own. And then when it came time for me to negotiate adding another department into the store, so it was like a dress store, and I
Mm.
was like, we need an alterations department. I negotiated 50% of that alterations department once I got in there. And then I had
Mm.
50% of that revenue, and I still had my salary from the consulting of the store,
You
super
did it,
underpaid
girl.
for it, right? And then
Mm.
when it was time for me to leave, I leveraged it out and took the business with me. So even
Wow.
when they do a dick move like that, like you're like, oh, you don't see my worth yet, right?
Yeah,
Get in there, work your butt off, and then leverage it
exactly.
for your own benefit.
Yeah,
But in the end, you can still move.
I know. Exactly. Like, go ahead and underestimate me, bitch.
That's fine if you want to. You can do that if you like to, but here's what: just know I'm coming. I'm
Yeah.
coming, whether you know I'm coming or not. It's
Yeah.
happening. So
Yeah. We are our own Trojan horse.
exactly, exactly. I love this. Okay, so we are like way off the rails. Stay inspired. So how has not giving credit been a problem for you in the past, and how did you overcome it?
Oh, I think this is back in. I'm a millennial, an older millennial. So this
40
is
something.
back when we didn't know how to appropriately credit Google Images.
Yeah,
Do you remember back
yeah,
in the day?
right.
So yeah, and especially I was a journalist. I was a magazine editor in Indonesia, meaning that it's so far away
Yeah,
from
mainstream.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So nobody even know what we were doing in the third world. Um, I must say that I got um, I got the get out of jail free card
Hmm.
simply just because yeah, it was unnoticed. But of course, so I didn't get into trouble. But of course, as soon as I know how to appropriately credit and how, if it's on Google, it doesn't mean it's yours to take.
Right.
Then I'm like, oh shit, I better get. But yeah, that
Yeah.
was the transition. And it's the same way. Like today, we see so many generative AI images and stuff. We
Yeah.
still don't know how to credit them,
Yeah.
right? And I would advise any of small businesses. I don't think you're vulnerable, but if you are an agency serving corporate clients, I would advise you not to use generative AI in that way
Mhm.
yet until the powers that be, all the lawmakers actually get their shit together and write the appropriate law on how to properly credit because I don't want any of us to get into
Right.
lawsuit.
Right. Right. Yeah. For me, being a so giving credit where credit is due typically comes from just a lack of like in the moment being mindful, right? Or like forgetting a name. I'm horrible with names and horrible with remembering certain, I'm good with great, like I'm great in certain areas, but names in like those types of things are horrible. And so that's been a problem for me in the past. And really, how I try to overcome that is I try to kind of make a note of like all the people involved in the process, right? And kind of, even if it's just a shout out, like I want to shout out all the people who made this successful.
Happen. Mhm.
That would be great. But it really had to become a conscious effort. Like it had to be intentional.
Mm.
That I was thinking about, okay, who helped this come to be? And then even when I forgot someone on the public forum of being like, oh, I should have tagged you or should have give you
Yeah.
credit, I would then go back and say, I just want to let you know how much you meant to me and how much you helped that project come along, and you mean so much to me, and giving credit in that way, even when I forgot. Because I mean, we all do it sometimes where
Oh
we're just
yeah.
like in the moment, we're like, oh, and I got to thank this person and so and so, and and you like, oh, I
Like your
forgot
award
somebody.
acceptance moment.
Exactly. I
I want to
forgot
thank
to
my
say so
mom.
and so. Yeah. So I like try to add it to the slides. I try to add it to like I try to add it in the front side. So like when I'm in the moment, I don't have as many issues remembering who it is. So that's kind of one of the ways that I have kind of like overcome it.
Yeah.
But we have to keep moving because we have 10 minutes left in the show. I can't even believe it's going so fast. We're having so much fun. Why? So who should you ask for help when you're trying to create like a business blueprint, right? Like, and when we say business blueprint, we're talking about like your plan on how you're going to roll out. And since we're talking about credit, like building your like award system in your business so that you are making sure you're giving everybody credit where credit is due. Like, who should we ask for help in trying to create that?
Trying to create a credit system.
Yeah, like an award system, or like trying to like who should be involved in that process.
Oh, if I want to make it micro, as in how we do the day-to-day operation, I am all for doing everything using cloud-based technology, as in, when you're working on one document, you will know who's contributing what sentence at what time. You can
Hmm.
always trace it. And you can always also mention, like, at Monica, thanks for
Hmm.
this thing. So I really, really love how technology enable us to appropriately, literally, it's not even credit where credit is due, but every single movement is recorded.
Yeah.
So not to micromanage, but it's more, again, a lot of people are too meek or too introverted to put their hand up and say, I have an
I was
idea,
responsible. Hmm.
right? Or I was the one.
Yeah.
Or also, it depends on your culture. I'm Asian. Asian people are not allowed to put their hand up, especially women. We just have to suck it up. We're here to serve, etc., etc. So the fact that it's there, recorded, um, computerized, there's no argument.
Yeah.
Plus, it it gives a good um, evidence for when you want to give promotion, or if you want to terminate anyone. So good or bad, you have everything recorded.
Yeah.
And I love, um, so in my company, I encourage people to every month, can you give a shout out to that one colleague that helped you in the past month? So being intentional, I know you're not supposed to be like, it's supposed to come naturally, but of course, days go by, weeks go by. But as a leader, if you prompt, hey, who's that colleague that you want to shout out this
Yeah.
month?
Yeah. I'm a leader that prefers to lead from behind, although no one allows me to do that. Like, I really don't want to be the front person for anything. And so, a lot of the times, when someone comes up with a good idea, what I'll do is I'll then give them the floor to run that idea, right? Like,
Mm,
well, I think it might be a good idea for her to do this. Awesome. How about you be the person in charge of implementing that? And I think if you're, especially as a leader in your business, if you are giving people space and opportunity to kind of like not only share their ideas and their thoughts, but then giving them the space to lead with that,
yeah.
right? It was their good idea. They had an idea of how it should go, and by giving them the space and opportunity to actually like develop that and like
Hmm. And
nourish
run with it.
that
Yeah.
and like grow that, it one takes less responsibility for me, right? Like I have less things to do to get off my plate, but also it gives them the opportunity to not only be recognized as a thought leader, but also to be recognized as someone who has brilliant ideas, who has
Mm,
the capacity to lead. And even though most people are like, I'm not a leader, no, I'm just an ideas guy. But like the fact that you had an idea, right? And you were at least willing to actually share that idea,
yeah.
you should get credit for one, having that
Yeah.
idea, and two, for being able to see that idea go all the way to fruition for yourself. So I think when, as a
Right.
person who is working in your business, whether you are a solopreneur and you have VAs helping you, or um, you're working with business coaches, or you actually have a team with you, kind of allowing when someone says, I have an idea and maybe we should try this, you giving them the space to actually run with that idea so that
Yeah.
they can get credit as the front person of that idea would probably be a great way to help them get more credit as you're building your business. And I think too for your company culture as well, like when you are a place who encourages innovation, right, and
Mm,
encourages new ways of looking at things, it can only help you get better. It can only make it a better work environment, because then they feel appreciated and heard and seen and loved. And yeah, you gave them more work because they came up with this great idea, but at the
and
same
that
time,
is a good like stepping stone for them
yeah,
as well to get promoted, to be seen, to be more visual and
yeah,
visible. I mean, and I think again, even if your motivation is like, oh, I'm too swamped to do it, but again, even if you want to see it in a bad way, like, oh, I'm just too lazy to do it,
yeah.
you're actually giving the floor, the space for other people to grow and
Yeah,
not just keeping the spotlight to yourself.
yeah. Well, and I want to say that you said that as a person who might be put in that position and
Yeah.
might have the outlook of, oh, this person doesn't want to see me win, they just didn't want to do the work. Take that as the opportunity, right? It's
Yes.
the opportunity to turn that
Oh, yes.
somewhat weird piece of meat into a beautiful, a
And
beautiful
can I tell you
meal.
one thing? Even if you have a toxic relationship with your boss or employer or partner, and you know that, oh, even if I do it, um, um, they will not put my name on it. Do it for the experience.
Yes.
Nobody will ever take that away from you.
You
That
you
experience,
can't unlearn what you learn in the process of doing it. So
exactly,
true. So true.
exactly.
Okay, so we got back on track. We have 2 minutes to kind of clean up this situation, but it's okay. So, what's your final tip for focusing for maximizing your business by focusing on credibility? So, what is your final tip about this whole topic we've been talking about today?
Oh my God. I think from my perspective, as someone who owns a content agency, I do see that content is where everything is now centered at. You want to sell a drink, you want to sell a tissue paper, you want to sell anything, any business, um, the core is in the content, right? Because that is the window to from the audience to your business. Therefore, being totally serious about how you build and produce your content, and then crediting everybody. For example, you have a photo headshot. Credit not only the photographer, the makeup artist, the stylist, the location, everything. at the very least, people see how serious you are in doing whatever knitting business, cement business, that people see, oh, she's serious business, and therefore I want to do business with her.
Mm-hmm. Love that. That's a great tip. And I guess my one tip is really lead the process with integrity, right? A lot of the times there's, well, this is business, it's different than who I am. But the reality is, how you conduct your business is the same way you conduct your life,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. So when it's time to give credit where credit is due, make sure that you are leading in that space with integrity and honesty, and allowing yourself to be in a space of contribution and love and appreciation when you are uh, giving credit where credit is due in your business. All right, we did it. We made it. We were all over the place, off the rails, but this was a great conversation. This is a great first date. I love having this conversation with you. And I'm sure
Yes.
everybody else watching loves it too. So I would love to know, like, where can they find you? How can they connect with you? What do you have going on in your world?
Oh my God. I would love for you to subscribe to my newsletter every Tuesday, no, every Thursday. So today, I publish to over 3,000 businesswomen out there all the juicy details of fellow female leaders from around the world, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, for example, if there's a new female prime minister elected, you will find it there from a country that you probably never heard before. So there you are.
I love that. I love that. It's like a gossip, like it's like a gossip column, but like for
Yes,
business.
yes,
I
absolutely. It's almost
love it.
it's like in England we have like a tabloid called the Daily Mail. I don't know if you're
Hmm.
familiar.
Yeah.
I always say it's basically the Daily Mail but lefty because we are for women and we do
That's right.
criticize those who are in power.
Very cool. And if you're interested in hanging out with me and having more conversations, I got 20 minutes for anyone. Got a hard 20 for anybody who has any questions, comments, or rude remarks about anything and everything that I am working on. So, with that, you can go to www.monicamhenderson.com and book a chat with me so we can chat about whatever you got going on, because I'm just here to help. And of course, there's always a bazillion and one things happening in the MinkLife community. And we are revving up all kinds of crazy things. But what I want you to remember is you can watch this show on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. or 2 p.m. on Thursdays and join the conversation. Leave your comments in the chat. We saw later that you guys had been populating chats in there, and we want to engage with you in those conversations. We love it. So tune in every week. Also, if you are interested in listening to us on the go, like we could be your friends when you're on the underground or you're in your car or you're just waiting for your kids to come out of school, you can listen to us on the go at Spotify. You just go to minklifemotivation.com. I'm sorry, Mink Life Motivation Live on Spotify, and all of the shows are there for you very shortly after we actually do them live. So go there and check that out. You can hang out with me on Wednesday as I will be continuing conversations and helping you maximize your business with amazing guests, just like my best friend Rebecca here. Like we're besties now.
We're besties now.
Yeah, you saw it here. You saw it happen in real time. With that, we have to say goodbye. I am so grateful for you, Rebecca, and
And
all of
you.
your flamingo power, loveliness today.
Don't
This is a
forget,
great.
and even my microphone is pink.
Oh, there you go. So with that, I want to say thank you